By far, the past 2 years have been the most difficult years of my life. I've literally gone through brain surgery, borderline homelessness, being completely broke, and watching the Lord provide for literally everything in my life. And I've learned a lot in this. I think about David, right? Like, when God was trying to make David one of the greatest kings of Israel, he didn't give him a cupcake or an award. He gave him Goliath. I get it. Like, it's arrogant to say that I'm like David in the Bible, a man after God's own heart. But I mean, who am I supposed to look up to in this day and age? Rappers, artists? I feel like a good role model would be David. The God says himself, this is a label that God gives, that David is a man after his own heart. He doesn't give that to anyone else in the Bible. And I think that's super unique. That's not good. But all throughout the Bible, when God calls someone to himself, he does two things. One, he puts them through trials and adversity. And two, he secludes them. He lets them be alone with God. And I can't find a single place in the Bible where God calls someone and gives them their purpose when there's other people around. It's always just them and God. Because God is a personal Savior. And so why am I telling this? Why should you keep watching? I feel like a lot of people in my generation are just drowning. We really are alone. In a time where we can communicate better than any other time in the entire history of the world, we're more alone than any other generation in the entire history of the world. At least I feel that way sometimes. I have people all around me, but nothing seems real. Look at how many times you're advertised in a day. Every second of your day is monetized to bring somebody some kind of financial gain. I hate it. Even our movies, the iconic DVDs and VCRs and all of that are going away and replaced with these streaming services that, even though you pay for the streaming service, you still get ads every 10 to 20 minutes. And also think about the movies we're watching now. My generation is flocking more towards movies like Fight Club and Oppenheimer. But look what the movies are pushed. This new Snow White from Disney and all things like that. The dystopian world that's shown in the movies like Blade Runner are more and more realistic. And I find that people are able to relate more to these abstract characters that were an extreme representation of a future that could happen when they were made. More people now are identifying with these extreme characters and personalities than they are with anything else in their life. I even go to these pride rallies, and I go out to these people not because I want to shame them or anything. It's because I look at them and I see that it's a generation of people who are just completely distraught with anxiety and depression. And with my past, and especially the past 2 years, I've struggled with that exponentially. But with the Lord, He has led me through a process of overcoming it. And by the power of Jesus Christ, I am not anxious or depressed anymore. And so when I go out to these places, all I see is a bunch of broken people. A bunch of people who are hurting, who are, honestly, some of the most depressed people in America right now. Churches even have sermons against them. The one place that they're supposed to be actually shown true love, the love of Jesus Christ, is so against them. Now, I know what you're thinking. All right, Adam, this is all wishy-washy. I've heard this before. Maybe you grew up in a church. Maybe you're part of the Pride community. Maybe, whatever it is. You're agnostic, you're atheist, you're Muslim, whatever it is. What if Jesus Christ is Lord? And actually, I tell you, Jesus Christ is Lord. And He can save you from all of that. As a person who has personally seen it and felt God's power save me from my depression and anxiety to the point where I used to be so afraid I couldn't walk down the street without weapons on me. And now I can be out here in the city, downtown Oklahoma City, at midnight. It's almost midnight, but you catch my drift. I literally have no fear. And I just want to see people freed from that fear and anxiety. Now let me read you a few verses. This is Acts 2:17. And in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men will see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Even my male servants and female servants, in those days I will pour out my Spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show wonders in the heavens above, and sights and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the day of the Lord comes, the great, magnificent day. And it shall come to pass that everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. This Jesus that I speak of fulfilled every prophecy from prophets that had come hundreds of years before him. Literally since the dawn of time, Jesus had been predicted, and he came and fulfilled every one of those predictions mentioned in the Bible. If you look at any religion, all of the Muslim, Hindu, whatever else you follow, they all have some kind of a God and some kind of a Jesus. They always have a Savior. Jesus is the only one who is a benevolent God who loves you and gives you the free gift of salvation. Now, you've probably heard these words before, but don't just let it skip your mind. I want you to actually contemplate these things. I want you to keep hold of these words in your mind and really feel them, malleable, like squeeze them. Try to find every drop of truth out of the scriptures that I'm telling you today. Now, let me tell you, I'm not just saying this as some guy who went to Bible school. I'm saying this as a kid who went through brain surgery and was threatened with homelessness, who was tens of thousands of dollars in debt, who literally had nothing, and God provided everything for me. I am healthy, I am saved, I am not in debt, I have a place to live, I have places to go, I have jobs, and I'm in engineering college after brain surgery. When I tell you that I literally watched Jesus take me from nothing, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and he has lifted me up into someone that I'm proud to be today. And it's not by my own doing. I could stand here before you today without a doubt in my mind, because the Lord has proved himself to me, and he'll prove himself to you too. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. If you have any topics just concerning the Bible, if you hate the Bible and you want me to go through some tough topics, let me know. I would love to talk about anything. I do talk about a lot of things on my other channels. This is my other channel here.